How's it going, guys? My name is Jimmy Champane, and today we're talking about the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer, and I guess the movie as a whole. I know it's been a minute since I made a video, like someone even asked me if I quit YouTube, but the reality is I've been moving apartments and now I have my own room to shoot in. This is my new set. It's way bigger than you can see right now. I'm still working on it, and that's why it's a little echoey. But regardless, I wanted to say thanks for clicking on my video and thanks for sticking with me. So we just got the first official trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog, and even after months of leaks of promotional shots and weird pictures of spindly legs on top of the Golden Gate Bridge, I really don't think any of us were expecting it to look as bad as it does. As for the setup of the movie, it seems like Sonic is going to be an alien who uses his rings as teleporters to get to Earth, and once he gets here, his speed powers knock out the electricity for the entire Pacific Northwest. Even though in the trailer you see the entire United States get blacked out, it's the Northwest according to the dialogue in the trailer. There's a little discrepancy there. After the power disaster, the government hires Dr. Eggman, who's played by Jim Carrey, to come in and figure out what this weird, disgusting creature is, and then presumably put it down. So obviously he's the protagonist of this movie because, yeah, this thing needs to go. Now, I'll be the first to admit that I was never really too hopeful for this movie, but after we got 2 great seasons of Castlevania, and then we saw all these awesome trailers for Detective Pikachu, I was starting to believe that maybe the tides were turning on video game adaptation movies. Yeah, we're gonna talk about everything Paramount screwed up in this video, but the first thing I wanna focus on is Sonic's look. Now, I know we've had months to prepare for this because of all those leaked pictures of him, but I just wasn't expecting to dislike him in motion this much. Everything from his human proportioned body to his weird human teeth, and of course his eyes, just doesn't really look right. And it's weird because they did get a few things right. They got the color scheme down, I like his red shoes, his spin attack looks and sounds great, but it seems like they got about 75% there and then just decided that they couldn't let themselves do it right. I mean, why can't this thing wear gloves? Why does he have to have white fur on his hands, which just looks absolutely creepy? They let Dr. Eggman wear gloves and they let this weird rodent wear shoes. I mean, who looked at this thing and said, yeah, shoes are fine, but gloves, that's one step too far. We cannot have this thing wear gloves. But for real, the reason this thing looks so off-putting is because they changed his proportions and made him look like a tiny little human being for no reason. They have countless 2D games, 3D games, an animated kids TV show that they had to work from. This thing is supposedly inspired by all this stuff, so why didn't they make it look like the thing that it's supposedly inspired by? It just doesn't make any sense. And before you say Sonic wouldn't really look right in the real world with his correct proportions, check out this artist's rendition of him that took about an hour to make after the trailer dropped. I think it looks about 1000% better than what we have. I think another big thing that the studios who make these kinds of movies don't understand is that we don't want to see Sonic come out of a video game and exist in our world. We want to see them bring his world to life. That's what they're doing with Detective Pikachu, and that's why it's working for them. To be fair here, I'll admit that seeing a fuzzy Pikachu or a Mr. Mime with skin was a little off-putting at first, but then I kind of got used to it because at their cores, the Pokemon in this movie look like the Pokemon we grew up with for the past like 20 years. If I saw this movie was coming out when I had Pokemon Crystal on my Game Boy Color, I would have lost it. I would have been so excited as a kid. And then on the other hand, you have Sonic the Hedgehog, which looks like one of those movies that's destined to end up in that giant basket of $5 movies at the checkout line at Walmart. It's coming off like something like Alvin and the Chipmunks or Garfield, where they make a very basic live action movie and then edit in all these very mediocre looking CGI characters, throw in a few fart jokes and call it a day. I mean, we've seen so many movies like this and everyone kind of just despises them at this point, so I don't understand why they're going down this tired, well-worn route that we just don't want to see anymore. The people I really feel the worst for here, though, are fans of Sonic the Hedgehog video games, because over the years, Sega has pumped out so many of them, and for every Sonic Generations or Sonic Mania, you have so many other games like Sonic Forces that just don't live up to fans' expectations. They're the people this movie should have been made for. Basically, there's a massive fan base out there that consistently turns up to buy Sonic games despite being constantly let down, and I guess you could say that they are primed for disappointment, but I really don't feel like at this point they deserve to be. Those are the people who deserve to be rewarded for sticking around and being fans of Sonic for decades when no one else was. I think the smart thing to do for Sega would have been to make sure some actual Sonic fans were involved in creating this character's lore and look for the movie. I mean, Paramount probably would have benefited from that too. It's exactly what the Pokemon Company and Lionsgate did for Detective Pikachu, and they are reaping the rewards by doing that. I mean, hell, Sega hired a bunch of modders to make Sonic Mania, and that's the best game we've gotten in the entire franchise since Sonic Generations. Edgar Wright should be directing this movie, or someone like James Gunn. done. I mean, hand it to the guys who just did Into the Spider-Verse. There are so many awesome possibilities to finally make Sonic cool. I just don't understand why they're just phoning it in here. I've gone on long enough here, so now I'd like to hear from you about what you think of Sonic's new look and the new trailer down in the comments below. And remember to subscribe if you haven't already. I have some really cool stuff in the pipeline that you're really gonna wanna see. Anyway guys, my name is Jimmy Champane, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.